fabric of God's creation. Tests of our strength, consequences of our freedom, and all those other obscene confections of the cornered. How much simpler it is to accept that there is actually no God, and that foul deeds are the unhappy outcome of freedom. Now, the second part of the argument against the existence of God is the extraordinary revelations about the origin and workings of the world that have stemmed from modern science. Science has provided profound insights into the origin and properties of the material aggregates that we recognize as atoms, planets, and people. It can effectively account for the entire biosphere on the grounds of that awesome instrument of blind modification and change that we call natural selection. Now, I agree that there is a remaining difficulty with accounting for an acausal inception of the universe. But cosmology is edging forward on that issue, and there is no sign that science will fail with that greatest question of all: where did it all come from? Faith, I hear you cry. Yes, indeed, it is faith that complete elucidation will come through science. But there are no rational grounds to deny that. The most important of all, unlike so-called religious explanations, scientific elucidation will come this side of the grave, and it will come by the exercise of rational, publicly testable argument. Even now, we can see that the overwhelming message of modern science is that the universe is a cosmically purposeless place. All physical events, including those physical events we classify as conscious thought, as love, and as belief in gods, can be accounted for without invoking either cosmic purpose or divine direction. That the existence and continuing modification of all living organisms can likewise be accommodated without appealing to any form of cosmic purpose. Theologians will wriggle and attempt to squirt cosmic purpose into the works like a divine lubricant. But that's what they're paid to do. They're brought up, they're trained to do that sort of thing. The concept of cosmic purpose is a human invention and wholly unnecessary for accounting for the workings of the world. It is what one might call the first resort of lazy minds who cannot face the arduous work of pursuing a scientific explanation of the world. Now, of course, God might be there, or it might be unnecessary, but actually still might be there. It's always a worry. And after all, I think an infinitely wise God would probably choose to be infinitely lazy too. But the third problem of this particular phase of the argument, therefore, is to seek to understand why people urgently press God upon us. I consider that it's easy to understand the pressures that cause people to long for the existence of a God. Not least of those pressures is the longing to avoid personal annihilation. But there is, of course, not one jot of evidence for an afterlife of any kind. Belief in the avoidance of personal annihilation is simply sentimental poppycock, and part of the awesome structure of control that religious authorities have heavily stumbled upon. There is no heaven, there is no hell. All such concepts are part of the prurient game that religions have played with peoples to subjugate them to their power. And superimposed on that basic fear is a whole panoply of cultural conditioning through religion's clever capturing of the arts and literature for purposes of propaganda, through social pressures from the cradle onwards, through the organization of society that incessantly urges people to believe, combines social conditioning with the frailty of the human psyche, and who cannot believe in God. In short, I consider that the existence of evil is a transparent argument in favour of the non-existence of God. That science does away with any need for purpose and divine involvement, and hence excludes the need for a God, and that we can understand why, nevertheless, people yearn to believe. Only the intellectually impotent, I consider, can continue to believe. Right. God gone. What is the role of goodness? Well, quite frankly, what is goodness? I think that we simply cannot help being good, on average, at least. Behaving reasonably well is in our genes, although my learned colleague might well dispute this later. We have not consulted much about this one. In the sense, it's in our genes in the sense that our constitution and general deportment have evolved. What we term good is the behaviour that, it has turned out, has supported our survival. Now, praying mantis probably thinks that killing its mate after copulation is good behaviour. Our own genetic composition and greater intellectual awareness urges us to exercise, on the whole, rather more restraint. But it's rather hardly surprising that there are some criminals and some sinners, for good behaviour is only a kind of average, and we expect fluctuations around it. Indeed, the concept of goodness is an evolving quality, and it is the fluctuations in behaviour that enable societies to shift their mean and develop new understandings of what is good. It used to be good to burn heretics. Now, that's thought by, at least by the more secular societies on the earth, to be somewhat less commendable. It used to be thought good to slaughter enemies willy-nilly. That too is less widely in vogue. So I see good as a developing invitation of common behaviour, and as evolving as society and individuals explore fluctuations around the norm. Now, belief in God is a sheet anchor on progress and adaptation to this shifting norm. Such stability may be thought good. Surely it cannot be admired if it is based on superstition and lies. Moreover, why is it appropriate to base our behaviour on written authority rather than to consider matters rationally and in tune with the times? There we are, out on the ocean of this purposeless universe, subject to the storms of personal interaction, buffeted by blind misfortune, driven by the ambition of the trade winds, of personal fulfillment. Is it better never to change or to recognise that society advances? Take contraception and abortion, for instance. Is it right never to regard artificial contraception and abortion as good, despite the improvement of means of achievement? Are we always to be left in the grip of written authority and its underpinning in the belief in God? Or can societies be regarded as having reached a stage where such substructure can be discarded? Let me conclude by saying that we have two routes to sensible personal development. One is to rely on authority, to trace goodness back to God. The second is to try to understand the origins of our behaviour and to consider matters free of superstition and manifest falsehood. I regard it as high time that we discarded the concept of God, a concept that would be laughable if it were not so intrusively evil and repressive. And detaching goodness from God will be a liberation from self-deceit, and will open up people and society to a more rational, caring future. Thank you very much.